A man dies, and his soul is waiting to learn its fate. St. Peter says, "Well then, let's decide whether he goes to heaven or to hell. Who wants to say something about him?" First soul: "He was a good man, kind, helpful, a wonderful family guy. Send him to heaven." Second soul: "At work, he was always honest and responsible. Definitely heaven." Third soul: "Send that jerk straight to hell." The dying man's soul shouts, "John, what the hell? We were friends." John's soul replies, "Yeah, we were. But listen, one day I walked into a public restroom. I'm sitting in the stall, minding my own business. Two businessmen come in, stand by the urinals, chatting. Suddenly a hitman bursts in and takes them both out. I'm sitting there frozen, not breathing, praying to God he doesn't hear me." The dying man's soul asks, "And what does that have to do with me?" John's soul yells, "Who do you think called me right at that moment?" Once, there were 3 turtles. One day, they decided to go on a picnic. When they realized they had forgotten the soda. The youngest turtle said he would go home and get it if they wouldn't eat the sandwiches until he got back. A week went by, then a month, finally, a year. When the 2 turtles said, "Oh, come on, let's eat the sandwiches," suddenly the little turtle popped up from behind a rock and said, "If you do, I won't go." A cat is sitting there, poking around in his bowl, while across from him the owner is eating a sandwich with red caviar, sipping a glass of fine vintage wine, lighting up a Havana cigar, and saying, "Surely, Fluffy, right now you'd like nothing more than to trade places with me." And the cat is thinking, "You're a fool, human. Caviar, wine, cigar. When you took me to the clinic and that scary man in white picked me up and was about to use a sharp piece of metal to take away the most precious thing I had, that's when I wanted more than anything in the world to trade places with you." A man walked into the lifeguard hut on the beach. "Hey, guys. Hey, got a cigarette? Sure. Help yourself. Got a light? Yeah, here you go. Hot weather today? Yeah. Our backs are all burnt from standing watch on this beach. How's the mood? Hey, it varies. So what did you come in for? Oh, guys, my mother-in-law is drowning." A guy is sitting in a bar, casually drinking beer. Suddenly, another guy bursts in shouting, "Hey, Mike, while you're sitting here, some dude outside is hitting on your wife." The man jumps up, pushing people aside, and bolts out onto the street at full speed. Right at that moment, he gets slammed by a truck. 2 weeks later, he wakes up in the ICU and thinks to himself, "Man, my nerves are shot. My name is actually Alex, and I've never even been married." A lady goes to her parish priest one day and tells him, "Father, I have a problem. I have 2 female parrots, but they only know how to say one thing." "What do they say?" the priest inquired. "They say, 'Hi, we're prostitutes. Do you want to have some fun?'" the woman said, embarrassingly. "That's obscene," the priest exclaimed. "I can see why you are embarrassed." He thought a minute and then said, "You know, I may have a solution to this problem. I have 2 male parrots whom I have taught to pray and read the Bible. Bring your 2 parrots over to my house, and we will put them in the cage with Francis and Job. My parrots can teach your parrots to praise and worship. I'm sure your parrots will stop saying that phrase in no time." "Thank you," the lady responded. "This may very well be the solution." The next day, she brought her female parrots to the priest's house. As he ushered her in, she saw his 2 male parrots were inside their cage, holding their rosary beads and praying. Impressed, She walked over and placed her parrots in with them. After just a couple of seconds, the female parrots exclaimed out in unison, "Hi, we're prostitutes. Do you want to have some fun?" There was a stunned silence. Finally, one male parrot looked over at the other male parrot and said, "Put the beads away, Francis. Our prayers have been answered." A woman takes a lover home during the day while her husband is at work. Her 9-year-old son comes home unexpectedly, sees them, and hides in the bedroom closet to watch. The woman's husband also comes home. She puts her lover in the closet, not realizing that the little boy is in there already. The little boy says, "Dark in here." The man says, "Yes, it is." Boy, "I have a baseball." Man, "That's nice." Boy, "Want to buy it?" Man, "No, thanks." Boy, "My dad's outside." Man, "Okay, how much?" Boy, $250. In the next few weeks, it happens again that the boy and the lover are in the closet together. Boy, "Dark in here." Man, "Yes, it is." Boy, "I have a baseball glove." The lover, remembering the last time, asks the boy, "How much?" Boy, $750. Man, "Sold." A few days later, the father says to the boy, "Grab your glove, let's go outside and have a game of catch." The boy says, "I can't. I sold my baseball and my glove." The father asks, "How much did you sell them for?" Boy, $1,000. The father says, "That's terrible to overcharge your friends like that. That is way more than those two things cost. I'm going to take you to church and make you confess." They go to the church, and the father makes the little boy sit in the confession booth, and he closes the door. The boy says, "Dark in here." The priest says, "Don't start that shit again. You're in my closet now." A group of girlfriends is on vacation when they see a 5-story hotel with a sign that reads, "For women only." Since they are without their boyfriends and husbands, they decide to go in. The bouncer, a very attractive guy, explains to them how it works. "We have 5 floors. Go up floor by floor. And once you find what you are looking for, you can stay there. It's easy to decide since each floor has a sign telling you what's inside." The women start going up, and on the first floor, the sign reads, "All the men here have it short and thin." The friends laugh and without hesitation move on to the next floor. The sign on the second floor reads, "All the men here have it long and thin." Still, this isn't good enough, so the friends continue on up. They reach the third floor and the sign reads, "All the men here have it short and thick." They still want to do better. And so, knowing there are still 2 floors left, they continued on up. On the 4th floor, the sign is perfect. "All the men here have it long and thick." The women get all excited and are going in when they realize that there is still 1 floor left. Wondering what they are missing, they head on up to the 5th floor. There they find a sign that reads, "There are no men here." This floor was built only to prove that there is no way to please a woman. A woman got married, but her husband was abusive. She got remarried, and that husband ran out on her. She got married again, and that husband failed in bed. Finally, she put an ad in the paper. "Looking for a man who won't abuse me, won't leave me, and won't fail me in bed." The next day, the doorbell rings. There is a man with no arms and no legs. "Hello. I saw your ad in the paper," he says. "Tell me a little about you." "Well, I have no arms, so I can't hit you. I have no legs, so I can't run out on you," he replies. "How do I know you're good in bed?" she asks. He says, "I rang the doorbell, didn't I?" A husband comes home and his wife throws her arms around him and says sweetly, "Mike, hey Mike, let's go out to a restaurant tonight." "What, are you crazy?" "Mike, today is our anniversary, 10 years since we got married." "Oh, but we don't have any money. Mike, I've been saving a little bit over these 10 years, enough for a restaurant. I've got nothing to wear. I borrowed a tux for you from our neighbor, John. And you have nothing to wear. My friend Lily made me an evening dress for this special night. All right, let's go. They walk up to the restaurant. At the entrance, the doorman says, "Good evening, Mike." "Shh. I'm with my wife." The waiter greets them. "Mike, the usual. One moment." "Shh. I'm with my wife." A stripper on stage announces, "All right, who's the bravest one to pull the last string on my bikini?" And the whole crowd yells in unison, "Mike! Mike! Mike!" The wife jumps up, slaps Mike across the face, runs outside, and flags a taxi. Mike rushes after her, jumps in as the cab starts moving, and she begins yelling at him, I trusted you, and you jerk." The taxi driver looks back and says, "Man, you picked up one mean lady tonight, Mike." Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. It really helps the channel.